BunnyCast number 13, lucky number 13, recorded on uh, February 27th, 2009.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow! And we've got the wrong date, I think.
No, we didn't.
Sometimes the dreams come back and seem so real to me. The sky turns so cold and black. I'm scared of what I see, but I'm not afraid no more. You vanquished my fears. You gave me the reason to laugh and stole all my tears.
All right, welcome to another episode of the BunnyCast. We have the usual complement here today, sort of. We have
Bag nuts.
we have me, Dave Helennet, the LeatherClad, also known as Herein, and Killerfish. Go for it.
Me, known as Killerfish, but although I've been going by my real name lately, of David on the 910 forums, so...
That's just
No.
It's just wrong, man. It's just wrong. And kind of joining us, sort of there, but you won't be able to hear him, is Squato. He's unable to vocalize right at the moment, but he is hoping to join in a bit later. And also there's the possibility of a guest. Oh, he says yo. There's a possibility of a guest later on.
So, in order to do this properly for our listeners, I'm going to be attempting to do an Australian accent to whatever he types up on the screen whilst he's talking to us.
just
So that way, you're not out of the loop here.
Just don't forget, there's going to be you have to do the obligatory
On sack!
confusing of Americans, which I think we just covered, and you're going to have to say something bad about firearms, and you're going to have to include some obscure cultural reference that only Australians get.
Yep. Near him typing. So
Yeah, he's typing away there.
France is the best country in the world.
That was actually pretty good from this American ear standpoint. Okay, we of course got news, and our news is going to kind of segue into our discussion, because the big news since the last podcast is, of course, the fact that EGS is no longer on Keenspot. Yes, it has been that long since we recorded. The change, I think, allowed for a lot of changes that I think have been in the wings for some time, but it also, I love the new forums. I know, Squato, you've been on those forums for a while, so you know about all the features and whatnot. But I gotta say that it's far and away better than the BB code, whatever it is, that was used on Keenspot, and the layout is so much nicer too.
Oh yeah, plus a few some don't. Wink.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a few people who don't like it in every batch.
It happens. And this is going to be very confusing.
Yes, it is. Killerfish, comments.
I actually like the fast reply feature, especially when you're. It's like a bad Doctor Who episode. Yeah, as I was saying, I like the fast reply feature, which allows you to quickly put a post up, so you don't get ninjaed as much.
Yeah, and now I don't know if you would call it a bug or a feature, but the one thing that is a little irritating to me is if I am subscribed to a particular topic,
Unless someone is talking while you are typing.
If I'm subscribed to a particular topic, it'll only list replies to posts that are directly to posts that I've made on that topic. For instance, the Order of the Bunny topic that I posted, I only get notifications if somebody hits reply to one of my posts. It's really kind of irritating, but again, I don't know if it's a bug or a feature.
You can set things, apparently, says Squato. Said Squato.
I shall not saying them here. It will take time.
Time. Okay, should we get on with
Yes.
discussion?
Okay, news in the comic for those who've been under a rock or like, interesting bit of news related to the comic, actually. I was chatting with Valgav the other day and found out that Val was unable to view the comic. Not because it was being blocked by any sort of censorship service, but because it kept coming up with invalid address errors whenever Val tried to log into the site.
What was the URL being used, you know?
It was EGS Comics, and it was, there was nothing unusual about it. In fact, I found a particular comic, copied the URL, pasted it into the chat box, did a ping to find the IP address of the server, replaced www.egscomics.com with that IP address, sent that off, and it still didn't work. So I played around with it for a while, and then finally I got the idea to use one of those internet proxies that like people in China use to get around the internet filter.
Yeah.
And that worked. Using the proxy, Val was able to get through to the EGS webpage. So just as an FYI, if you listen to the BunnyCast, if you are an old friend of EGS and you're not able to get it now,
Pass on all notes you have on that. Something might happen.
pass on the notes to who, Squato?
This is funny. This is going to be the weirdest podcast we've ever done. You suck, KF.
We're all waiting with bated breath as he types. I should insert a drum roll sound here.
Well, that's a good thing that everybody will be less annoyed at.
That was meant to be for Homer. He should pass on the notes to Thom.
Tomcat.
Ah.
From... How's that pronounced? I don't know.
It is spelled Thom.
We should have asked him. I got it right.
Okay.
Hooray.
Okay, so we'll have to pass on. I'll have to pass on the notes to Tom. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I don't think that he'll be able to do anything about it, though. My understanding is that Val is using Comcast, which, if anybody is in the IT community and you're listening, you know that Comcast sucks. Killerfish, not Killerfish, Squato, and any Aussie bunnies, you'll best understand it if I say Comcast.
And to any listenings, please report any side issues. Code Monkeys will be ready to do what they can.
Comcast is to America what I think it's Telstra is to Australia. It's like one of the big heavyweights in the industry, but they suck so bad that everybody is like, go away. Just we don't care if we're without internet for a while. Just go away. But they're the only game in town. So, any case,
I'm not repeating that.
is it run by Ass Saul? Not sure what the context of that is, but it's funny. It is a Chasser joke on the CEO's name. I got it. You know what? I don't know who's running. Yeah. Anyways, anyways, getting back to the comic, it has changed sites, and it looks the layout, the format looks really, really nice. Now, I haven't gone through the archives, but the way Dan is doing the comic presently, the current site layout really presents it well. There's very little cruft. You don't have to to pry your focus away from stuff that's dragging your attention away from the comic. It's blue background, white comic, and it makes it really easy to read.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Exactly. But as for the events of the comic, who likes Elliot's new ability? Raise your hand. Oh wait, nobody can see that. I do.
I do.
Squato?
I have issues with the way MPs in the filler sections are done. Weirdest podcast ever.
Yeah.
They don't display like they are used to when an update happens. Sorry, don't display like they used to.
I haven't even noticed that when an update occurs for those, honestly.
As to Elliot, sorry, I'm actually projecting a bit of a New Zealand accent into there. And as you know, like, people from New Zealand are a bit touchy when they get described as Australians.
Yeah.
But Australians don't seem to be touchy when they're described as people from New Zealand.
I think that's mostly because they're not mistaken for New Zealanders. And we lost Squato. Oh, that's fun. I'm going to try to bring him back in. So, okay. And he's not coming back on for some reason. In any case, okay, so it's in terms of the plot. I gotta confess, I'm not sure what's going on with the plot at this point. It's a little.
Skype
confusing.
kicked me.
Yes, and we can't seem to bring you back in. So.
Oh well. We'll just discuss things behind his back.
Yes.
And, yes.
So, anyways, I don't honestly know where Dan is going with the comic. It could be there could be some huge storyline in the making, but it honestly at this point I'm not sure if it's a big old storyline or if it's just kind of the soap opera-ish style of meandering that some comics wind up doing, which is fine because it's still a good comic, but we've all kind of gotten used to having these nice big epic level story arcs. Yeah, epic.
Yeah. But it's always good to have a bit of a surprise from where the storyline's going to hit you from. Like, oh, here comes Squato. As Elliot, well, that was different.
Yeah, that was quite different.
That point holds the plot.
Yeah.
What noise should I make for that?
The
emoticon.
You know, I don't know. It's a meh, meh, meh. One thing that kind of struck me as amusing was that there were some people on the forums that found Elliot's outfit that he transformed into uh, inappropriate in some way. Like it violated some rules. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, we've seen him naked. The only thing that was covering him was shadow. How is this worse than
We've
that?
seen him wearing just kind of like rope. This is like a definite step up.
So it's like it's not like it's less than what has been shown on him before or her. And
Remember, he is a 17-year-old boy slash man slash girl slash cat.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm not looking at a man right here. Excuse me, I've got this cough that won't go away.
Who just has to have the power to change into a woman.
That was terrible.
Yeah, sorry, caught me out the blue.
But yeah, it's not really inappropriate at all. It's like clearly some people have this.
OMG, he's wearing women's clothing when he's a woman.
Well, it's obviously a very low threshold.
LOL.
Not even a
That was from
lollicopter.
Squato.
Yes. Sure, it was. Yes, yes. Okay. Stepping back a couple comics because again we haven't really recorded since the introduction of the arc that introduced the reporter lady with the very short skirt. It looks like Grace's new teacher is going to have a larger role in things down the road.
She wears short shorts.
What the hell
Sorry.
was that kind of accent?
I've got no idea. I'm just going to be playing around with different accents when Squatto's speaking. Shall not know what I'm going to come up with next.
We could have fun with that one.
Okay, I'll give it a try, Squatto.
Of course, there's very little hinted at here. But it just shows that he's got some bigger plan. Of course, we've all kind of had that idea that he had something going on, but this is the first. I'm referring here to the comic for February 13th, and it's the first indication that we have that there might be something more to him than just he sees an opportunity with Grace and Ellen, and he's seizing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
my 2 cents.
Okay.
Excuse me. And just prior to
Are we
that,
both suffering from cold slash throat problems?
yeah, I've had this cough for a couple
He
weeks.
likes to play with the ladies. That was a terrible French accent, sorry.
That was more Persian.
He likes to play with the ladies.
Now let's just go full tilt crazy. I likes to play with the ladies, the lassies.
Well, don't go Scottish on me, because, when I go Scottish, I go completely Scottish, and nobody quite understands what I'm talking about. Even the God King from 300.
So, going on to the comic for February 10th, it's going to be interesting to see what might wind up happening between Kat and Susan.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm an old school, shipper for Susan and
Justin.
Justin. Thank you. Man, I'm tired. This is what happens when you have kids. You just get so tired that names escape you. It's particularly bad if you don't have good times with names to begin with.
Indeed.
Now, one thing I'm noticing is there's an ad on this, a banner ad on the side for a comic called Dragon Doctors, and the art's not very good. I mean, we're talking like not even up to levels of the first strips of the Watch. But at the very bottom it says, "Warning: the Doctors may not be of their original gender." And all I've got to say is they know how to target those ads to the right audience.
I've actually read it, and yes, I had your original misgivings about the artwork, but the storyline is actually quite... It draws you in, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Actually, speaking of other comics, did anybody have time to look into the comics recommended for reviewing this week?
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's probably a no.
Shifty eyes. The eyes of shiftiness.
Yeah, I don't think any of us did.
Aussie Ninja.
Yes. So, okay, it looks like we're probably not going to do a comic review this week unless we each want to review different comics.
Oh, Squato did.
Yeah, well, he recommended them, so of course.
Well, we'll have to save it till next time then, because one person does not make a review comics thing place. I'm making no sense anymore. At least someone does their job. Gone slightly Slavic there. Da.
Okay, so we're going to hold off on the review. As for discussion, anybody have any rants to bring up or anything like that? I mean, I've got a few.
This would be so amusing if Squato did.
Uh-oh, he's typing.
Oh yes, I do.
Well, let's hold off until you can actually, talk.
Yeah, might be slightly easier for everybody involved.
Well,
By the way, I apologise to any little stereotypical in the voices that I'm doing. This is merely done not to be insensitive to anybody at all. It's just me being me. And Squato is typing again.
Tell them where to send the letters.
Yes. If you have any complaints, please send them to...
Go to @hell.com. Okay, so this would probably be a good time to discuss a small change to the podcast we're doing. Taking into account that not everybody likes the very, very long podcasts that we've done in the past and wants them to be, shortened up a bit, but also taking into account the fact that we can, ramble when we get our teeth into a subject. We're going to go ahead and record at the regular length, but we're going to break whatever recordings that we do into two distinct parts. We'll announce a break time about halfway through our conversation, and then what you'll hear is we'll do the introduction, we'll do the commentary. No, we're not going to ring a bell. And then we're going to say, okay, we're going to take a break now. You're going to hear some exit music, and that'll be it for that week.
Shakes fist angrily.
Yeah, we still got all our guns. What you got?
But yeah, we'll take a short break between segments, and then
okay. So Kangaroos.
Kangaroos!
That was a non sequitur. And then for the next week, you're going to hear some intro music. Then we're going to say, okay, well, we're back from the break, and we're just going to go straight on into it. You did ask what we have.
Okay.
Okay. In any case, we're definitely going to be keeping individual episodes short that way, and we're still going to be covering the same amount of content. Now, the best part is that this is going to mean that the listeners are going to get weekly podcasts. You're not going to have to wait every 2 weeks in order to get it, and we're at least going to be somewhat more up to date than usual, and this will also give us a chance to insert at pre part 2 any like last minute updates.
Yeah.
Okay. Squato says kangaroos. You did ask what we have. Homer, read what I say when you are free to reply. Okay.
I think this is actually topping the podcast that me and Squato did on our own for randoms.
Was that the one where you had like 3 guests and it just went crazy?
Yeah, I think that was the one.
Tom is on, but you need to tell if you have him on your Skype. I've got TFR on my Skype, but he's not showing up as available. I think he just hasn't approved me for his list.
So we should take a break here.
This would be a good time for a break. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break now. Tune in next week for the remainder of the conversation. Squato said, and I did it this way so you wouldn't read it on the air. Well, I didn't do that.
We need to come up with some sort of protocol for talking like this.
Well, hopefully this won't happen too often.